Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I am Horrorboy465, aka Nate Murphy, the Explorer of Horror here. Welcome back to some more reviews, and today we're reviewing 2012 Zombie Apocalypse. I take back saying that I'm just reviewing this movie. This will be a rant. And of course, 2011, about mid or late 2011, there was a whole wave of 2012 movies that were coming out. You had like 2012 Ice Age, 2012 Zombie Apocalypse, 2012 just random movies, 2012 Earthquake, stuff like that. A lot of disaster movies because it was about to be the year 2012. Everybody thought the end of the world was coming, so they decided to make a bunch of 2012 movies, including the movie 2012, and of course, out of all the sci-fi movies, 2012 is more of a higher budget film, but I'm talking about the low budget Sci-Fi Channel 2012 movies. One of them was 2012 Zombie Apocalypse. And look in the back here, stars Ving Rhames and Taryn Manning. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, why did I even watch this movie? Why did I waste my time on it? Nate, why'd you even give it a chance? It was going to be bad from the start. Why'd you even watch it? What's the point of even watching it? You want to know why I watched this movie? You want to know why I gave this movie a chance? Because I gave these movies a chance. I gave these movies. Now, minus the Crazies, it's a little bit of a higher budget movie. I really enjoyed the Crazies, but I'm talking about the Demented, My Niece and I, Living Dead, and the Terror Experiment. They're low budget zombie movies. Especially Terror Experiment, it's very low budget. But I still enjoyed all four of these movies. Now, like I said, minus the Crazies, but I still really enjoyed the Demented, My Niece and I, Living Dead, and Terror Experiment. I really enjoyed them. Terror Experiment was okay, but I can still watch it. My Niece and I, Living Dead, and Demented, I really enjoyed. So, you want to know why I gave this movie a chance? Of why I even watched it in the first place? Because I gave these movies a chance. And these movies gave me hope that there can be good low budget zombie movies out there. Films like Last of the Living, I Am Omega, I really enjoy those movies. These movies as well. So yeah, that's why I gave 2012 Zombie Apocalypse a chance, because those movies were good. I gave those movies a chance, and I really enjoyed them. So I went into this movie, and I'll be honest, guys, I wanted to give it a chance. But I kind of had a bad feeling about this movie because I remember when this was coming out on Sci-Fi. Of course, this was made by the Asylum, but it was also made for Sci-Fi Channel, and that's a bad sign. It really is a bad sign because that means you're gonna have a lot of horrendous CGI effects, which it does have that, and a stupid story. I mean, it's basic, but not really much of the story. Terrible, horrendous acting. The word to describe 2012 Zombie Apocalypse is horrendous. You got horrendous acting, horrendous green screen effects, horrendous CGI, horrendous characters. I'd probably say the best characters in this movie was probably Ving Rhames and Eddie Steeples. Of course, Eddie Steeples he was also in My Name Is Earl. I think they both did a good job, but they both die in the movie. Ving Rhames dies at the end of the movie, and then Eddie Steeples dies at the beginning of the movie. So two people who actually did a decent, okay job acting-wise, they both died. And then we're left with these crappy, horrendous actors who I don't buy their acting. I don't buy they're in the post-apocalyptic world. It just, their performances were lazy. And I wanted to give this movie a chance, but I do remember watching this back when this came out. I remember when this was, when Sci-Fi was showing the commercial for this all over TV. And even then, I was thinking like, oh crap, this is going to be one of those low budget movies by Sci-Fi. So I remember watching it then, didn't really pay a lot of attention to it. I literally almost fell asleep and I stopped watching it. So I kind of went into this movie with already saying that it's gonna be bad. And it was. But I still had that slim chance, or that slim, existence of hope in this movie. And because it's not really that hard to make a good, at least a decent watchable zombie film. When it comes to zombie movies, all you gotta do is have good practical effects, good characters. Not even that. Decent characters and decent acting. At least decent acting. Good makeup effects and a decent story. Okay. Alright, you got your zombie movie right there. You got gore, you got decent characters, a decent story. Okay. This movie doesn't have that. Everything in this movie is horrendous. And that's going to be the word to describe Zombie Apocalypse, 2012 Zombie Apocalypse, is that it is a horrendous film. And it gets a 4.0 on IMDb, came out in late 2011, the TV movie. And it was directed by Nick Leon, who I think would go on to do Rise of the Zombies as well. Did he do that? Yeah, he did Rise of the Zombies as well. And you know what Rise of the Zombies looks like? It looks like a ripoff of this movie. Like a freaking ripoff. I swear. He's also the director of Species: The Awakening. Well, that's wonderful. I heard that was such a great movie. Species: The Awakening. This guy does not have a good directing, list here. Rise of the Zombies, and then this, and Species: The Awakening. Oh, great. That's an awesome list of directing skills. He's made some really great films. Now, I know people are saying, but Nate, you haven't seen Rise of the Zombies yet. I don't really have a lot of hope in it, because you look at that cover over there, look at this cover, look the same. Only this, imagine this being Danny Trejo instead of a zombie. And then these people right here, I think it's like opposite. Like, these are zombies. Imagine these are zombies, and this being Danny Trejo. And literally, the back of it looks the same. Instead of Ving Rhames, you got Danny Trejo. Instead of this girl, you got the blonde-haired girl from that movie. So the director ripped off his own movie. It looks like a complete ripoff. And the big thing about that movie is they're going to Alcatraz. They're going from San Francisco to Alcatraz. Here, they're traveling across country to go to some refuge on an island called Catalina. Only difference is that this island is Catalina and that island is Alcatraz. Oh, big difference, big difference. No, it's not. The director ripped off his own film. The director ripped off his own film. How do you rip off your own movie? I haven't even seen it yet, and it already looks like a ripoff of this film. It might not be. It could be a completely different movie, but you oh my god, guys. This movie it's horrendous. I can't believe the director, because I actually was wondering that, because I was like, I was curious. Looked in the back of this case, I was like, okay, the director is Nick Leon. Looking back at that, director, Nick Leon. I'm like, alright, so the same director made both movies. On that front cover, instead of a zombie being the main thing on that cover, it's Danny Trejo. And zombies, below, I think. Yeah, I think it's zombies. And then you go in the back. This is Danny Trejo. A blonde-haired chick on the back of it. I think with a shotgun or a machine gun, whatever. Over here you got a stuffed nose today. Droopy nose. Doing this rant. Apologize, guys. And in this movie, you got Eddie Steeples, and that you got the guy from My Name Is Earl. You got Earl's best friend in that movie. How is that not a ripoff? You have Earl's best friend in that movie from My Name Is Earl. Here, you got Eddie Steeples from My Name Is Earl. How is that not a ripoff? I haven't even seen it yet, and I already know it's a ripoff of this movie. From the same director. Now, I could see if it was from a different director. No, it's the same director. How do you rip off your own freaking movie? That is so sad. That's so sad. How do you rip off your own film? I don't know how you can rip off your own movie, but somehow this director managed to do that. Movie gets a 4.0 on IMDb. I'm actually surprised by that. This movie should get like a 2 point something. At least a 2 point. Give it a 2 point something, not a 4.0. Gosh. You know, it's a terrible sci-fi movie that. You want to know my problems? Okay, let's get to the problems. First of all, this movie has this really annoying filter through it. That looks like it costs about $5. Pretty much, look at this front cover, look at the back of it. You know, you get a good feel from the front cover. You see that front cover? That's pretty much the filter from the rest of the movie. You just look at the front cover. Look at the way the front cover looks. That's the filter for the movie. It has like a brownish sort of, you know, trying to be gritty layer of filter over it whenever it's being shot. And it's not shot well. It's not atmospheric. The acting is horrendous. You have some terrible, awful green screen effects. You got some really bad CGI effects that look like crap. You got zombie makeup effects look like crap. Even the practical effects. This is one of those movies that even the practical effects are terrible. How do you get that wrong? Just hire a good practical effects artist. And you can have good practical effects. But no, the practical effects in this movie, they're freaking terrible. Especially if you guys can see it. That zombie right there, the one I'm pointing to, right there, if you guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Looks like a freaking monkey. Literally, his mouth is lowered to right here. When it should be right here, it's lowered down to here. It looks like they stretched his forehead. That looks like a freaking monkey. Gorilla. I don't know what the freak they did with his face. And the story. Okay, so basically you got these people. They're stuck here. They gotta get to this island. And on the way there, they stop by a high school full of zombies. It's a basic story. It's a story that we've seen 100 times. They're going through cities, and the cities are all abandoned. And for some reason, they decide to stay on the main road. If you're in a zombie apocalypse, why are you on the main road? They're going through cities. They're right out in the middle of the... Gosh dang, guys. I figured they would at least be smart enough to hide from the zombies. To stay behind buildings. To stay in back alleys. And dirt roads and paths in the woods. But no, they're right out in the middle. They're right out in the open. In the middle of the road. Sometimes they're even hollering and you know, hey guys, we're over here. You got stupid scenes, they're knocking stuff over. Oops, my bad. And I'm like, you stupid. These characters are so dumb. Ving Rhames, his acting is decent, but they give him some stupid lines. Going meow. Because you have a CGI tiger. Great, it reminds me of Zombies. Which, yes, if you guys are wondering, I've seen that movie. I really don't want to review it for the Week of the Dead, but it's a possibility. I could tag that onto this list. I'm like, great, we got a zombie tiger, and he looks like crap, and everything's CGI. Atmosphere has some bad green screen. You got some CGI zombies sometimes. You got a CGI zombie dog, a CGI zombie tiger. You got Ving Rhames going meow, meow. Then you got this one time where he's like, I found it. They're like, what? He says, I found humanity. It's family dinner. Holds up like spaghetti. I'm like, see, his acting was decent sometimes, and they tried to give the characters some depth, but it didn't work. You want to know why it didn't work? Because these characters are unlikable. Only Ving Rhames and Eddie Steeples were the only people that I gave a crap about. The rest of these characters, they suck. Especially Tara Manning as Ramona. Her acting was horrendous. Whenever she starts crying, it's like she's just not even shedding a tear. She's like, oh, he died. Leave me alone, guys. He died. She's not even showing any emotion. And then you got the girl Leslie Ann Brandt playing Cassie. Her acting is horrendous as well. And you got this guy, Johnny Picard, playing Julian, did a terrible job as well. You know what he says? He says his line. I don't know if it's him or if it was the Gary Weeks character, Mac, but he says a line like, oh, well, in the zombie apocalypse, you gotta make sure your arms and legs are covered so that you don't get bit. All he wears is a chest piece, like right here, doesn't cover up his arms. They even go into a store. He doesn't get a helmet, or I think he does wear a helmet, but he doesn't wear like arm things and leg, garters and, putting pads on us, like putting, armor on. He doesn't do that, even though he says to do that. He doesn't do that. It's stupid. And they get this scene in the movie where they see a bike. Well, they see a bunch of bikes. They're like, hey, why don't we just take some bikes and, ride to the place? I'm like, yeah, why don't you do that? They go, no, it'll attract the runners. Maybe if you would stay on the side roads, back alleys, stay out of sight, because bikes don't make that much noise. Unless you're, like, literally out in the freaking open riding a bike. I don't get it. They should pick up the bike and ride the bike to the place. I don't get it. I would get a bike. He's like, oh, it'll attract the runners. And that's another thing that I hate about this movie. It's like they come up with this stuff right off the spot. Like there's one scene where you got Eddie Steeples. He's like, well, what about flamethrowers? And the guy goes, oh, we call those flamies or flamers, whatever you call them. And then there's a scene where they're like, what we call the running zombies, runners. And then we call like a group of zombies packs. They just come up with this stuff out of the blue. Like, just say it randomly, like, they'll be walking, they're like, oh, well, we call these running zombies the well, not, I think if they call it runners. And out of the blue. And they said more than that. And then animals started getting infected. It was stupid in Zombies, and it's stupid in this movie. Especially with throwing CGI. CGI effects in this movie freaking suck. They suck. They're crap. They're total crap. And the story, yes, it's basic, but how many times have we seen a zombie movie where they're trapped here, they gotta get to this safe area over here. Here, they're trapped in the city, they gotta go from the city, cross country, to this island. And that's why I said, Rise of the Zombies is a ripoff. All it is them going from San Francisco to Alcatraz. I'm like, it's so much more different, right? No, it's the same movie. It is probably the exact same movie. But then again, I can't say that for sure because I haven't seen it yet. But instead of Ving Rhames, you got Danny Trejo. And you also got a blonde-haired chick in that movie as well. And instead of Eddie Steeples, you got Earl's buddy from My Name is Earl in that movie. You got Eddie Steeples from My Name is Earl in this movie. You got Earl's buddy in Rise of the Zombies. You got Earl's buddy from My Name is Earl in Rise of the Zombies. How is it not a ripoff? It's made by the same director. How do you rip off your own movie? I cannot understand that. How do you do that? I mean, I get it. People are going to say, well, there's some directors who make sequels that are like their other movies. Yeah, but probably similar, but not total rip-offs. That sounds like a total rip-off. How is it not a rip-off of Zombie Apocalypse, 2012 Zombie Apocalypse? Instead of Ving Rhames, Danny Trejo, whatever. I'll review that movie, later on this week for the Week of the Dead. I'm not sure if it'll be good. I'll give it a chance, but I really don't have a lot of hope in that movie. But the story is basic, but how many times have we seen this story? Repeats itself again. The story is kind of lazy because there's nothing new to it. Annoying characters, their acting sucks, the acting is terrible. You got horrendous CGI effects. You got horrendous green screen effects. The acting is unbelievable. You got some really stupid lines of dialogue. Sometimes from Ving Rhames says like, meow, meow. Even practical effects aren't even that good. There's hardly any practical effects. It's mainly just CGI. CGI effects. And pretty much they're going from the city to this island, Catalina. And on their way there, they stop at a school. Then, like, one person, I think that's actually where Eddie Steeples dies. They go from the school to this area, somebody dies here. They go from the school to this area, somebody dies here. They get to the docks. They fight a zombie tiger. Then Ving Rhames dies. Just gets scratched by a tiger, I guess, that killed him. Even if, I get it, he was infected anyways, but Ving Rhames is trying to fight this tiger, just gets killed. They kill the tiger. Ving Rhames, I think, kills the tiger. It throws like a sledgehammer and it hits it in the head. Then they have to kill Ving Rhames, so that he's not a zombie. They get on a boat. I guess the boat's going towards the island. End of the movie. Movie is just so freaking bad and terrible. I really don't care if I break this. I really just don't care. I just don't care because it's freaking garbage. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care if I broke the movie. I got it for $1 anyways. But it just makes me mad because I gave it a chance. I said it could be decent. It could be okay. I watched this freaking boring. And if you guys want to watch this movie, that's cool. If there's anybody who's a fan of this movie, but I personally don't see how anybody could like this movie. But if you are a fan, then that's cool. This is just my opinion. But movie freaking sucks. Terrible CGI. The director ripped off his own freaking movie, which is over there, which I'll review later on this week. I don't know what else to say, guys. It's terrible. It's boring. Horrendous CGI. Horrendous green screen. I gave it a chance. Could have been good. It was awful. So yeah. Thanks for watching my rant on 2012 Zombie Apocalypse. And thanks for watching episode 3 of The Week of the Dead. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the review. And I'll see you guys on the next review. Bye, guys.